Hi everyone and welcome back to Massimo
and Alessia.
So, this is our first episode. We had actually thank you very much to all the people that wrote to us about the curiosity to know more about things that are related to the dancing world, the dancer, the dancing, because in this channel or these moments we would like to talk about everything about this beautiful dancing world. And one of the questions that we choose from you was why many dancers, many couples, they look very similar.
Yes, one of the issues that happen, actually not just one question, but several at the same subject.
Yes.
How to be special on the floor and what to do to be different from one to the other.
Yeah, these two words actually also in lesson are quite popular, to be, I want to be special, I want to be different. So there is this needs to somehow
difference, to be different than
to be
others.
Different than others. And if you really think about it, it's a little bit, we are already different.
Exactly.
But of course, somehow, because we do the same things, imagine like a natural turn, we all do a natural turn or a Rumba walk.
Yes.
Somehow, the movement is very similar. So it's not so easy, but actually it's also not so difficult to look different if you find your own way of interpretate that movement. But to go back again in this question, we classify at the moment in five
issues that happen quite often, and we believe that these issues, if we transform these issues and work on that, I think couples or individual beings, they can find their own way.
And the first one, we thought that is about copy or imitate or see other people moving. Somehow, in the journey of a dancer, you have, of course, your teachers, you have your champion of
the idols.
The idol
we all had, yes.
And the big one, you have now this video, the telephone, that somehow it push dancer to see others. And by watching others, we want to imitate each other.
Yes, you identify somehow yourself with the image or the pictures that you have. I mean, we don't have to forget that the mind of the people have a representation of the reality a lot through image. So the image is a very strong point of understanding somehow the things that you want to do.
Now, don't misunderstand. It's not that imitation or copy is completely wrong, because is actually is a big way of
learning. As well, yes.
But somehow we need to be aware of it.
Yes, I believe that also depends very much the level. Where are you? If, for example, I mean, we all experience as a younger dancer or an experienced dancer, let's say a beginner.
Yes,
is very useful for get an image, I think, because it will give you a outside package somehow.
Yes.
To use it for your benefit.
So quite easy in a way.
Yes,
because you see the image.
See the image, and as a kids or as a younger couple,
necessary.
Or beginner, necessary, and I think it's very good to get this possibility of learning through imitation. But I believe that as higher as you go with your level, it's very important that you learn to understand what you want from your movement, and especially why you do the movement.
Yes.
Then you give your own interpretation of the why, you know.
Yes. So somehow, you know, if we stop into the image or the body shape, you know, we miss one of, you know, the interior part, you know, the internal part, that is why we do things, which kind of idea we have in this step, what we want to communicate.
And actually, I just come now in my mind that in your book, Dance Behind the Physicality, probably this is the things that you want to take out of it. And I think that the description in the book is very, very, very clear.
Yes, because I separated the you know, separate is wrong, in a way, wrong words, because nothing is separate, but it's about, you know, the idea behind the body, really.
Yes.
And it's about, you know, the belief of the dancer, the value of the dancer. And in the book it was also about how to communicate, you know, there was is actually is a good book to read.
But now, I mean, we don't want to push anything. It's not about that.
Now, the second point was the fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Somehow we look, because we prefer to look like others than find our own way. This is a little bit interesting. It's like you know, these rules of conformismo, we say it in Italian.
Yeah, to conform yourself somehow with others, and you can see it as well in the daily life as well. You see, I have you know, 3 boys, and it's so difficult somehow to grow them as an individual being, because the society environment tend to make you dress up the way, you know, is the fashion at the moment. Your hairstyle have to be in a certain way, you know. The behavior as well is very much
the language.
The way the way you move as well. So it's getting very
So we need to be aware that somehow, you know, all this outside power is quite powerful, you know, the environment, how much influence our decision, our thoughts, our behavior. So the second point, you know, the warrior of judgment, we need to be aware. We should not be worried about to listen our inner voice. You understand?
You need to have courage somehow to show what do you like, and show what you think that is good for you.
I remember in our career, I don't know if you remember this, how somehow there was a period, how many people, not that it was against, but you know,
no, we never had
but you know, they tell their beliefs, and you know, and maybe it was not what we want.
Yes, I mean, I remember that come in my mind about conformism. You know, it was always somehow the leading fashion of the area was always in our time too. And I remember even with not just in the style, the way you move, but also in the dress, in the look. And I remember that many years ago, I had the courage to dress up in a different way, to take out feather, for example.
I think that was the first dress without
feather, and
that was an international
simple dress.
Yes.
And I remember I had this Portuguese style dress with red flower, and I felt wonderful in it, and I felt very myself. But somehow the day after the competition, I had some of the teacher that thinks that was not, you know, so different.
I remember one said, "You can't do that."
Yes,
it's like you know, it's like, you know, don't.
Now I must say that in that time, also because I want to have success in dancing, of course, and I want to have, achieve a result.
Yes.
So I was a little bit, touched by those words. But, when the next competition came in, and I felt so light, and so I felt my body, and I felt so suitable for you.
Yes.
That I believe, will be hard, that they will accept it, but let's go to this road.
It make me something quite interesting, that today many people, or we all say that, there is no enough personality, but somehow when somebody try to find themselves, they're not accepted.
Exactly.
So, there is this contradiction. So if we want more personality on the floor, we also need to encourage people to try.
Yes, I absolutely...
and guide maybe into find their own and their taste. Because we talk about taste, really.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that sometimes I to look at back as well, I had some extreme somehow ideas, but I don't know. I find from that extreme, I find then my way.
Yes.
And this is a journey somehow,
yes.
And it's very important to. The look is one part of it. Of course, could be a step, could be the interpretation of the step.
Yes.
We could even touch the moment when we decide to manipulate a little bit the basic steps somehow, not the technique, but the way to do it, and could be make a stronger sway or be lower in space, to manipulate the element that we had. And this is something that
I think if you know the reason why you do things, then they will look somehow
natural.
They will look natural.
Yes.
The point is not to be different, to go against people.
Exactly.
I think the point is to really, honestly, listen and find, who you are, what suits you, and not being nasty. Because it's not to be being nasty to other, or to be
to pretend a bit, I think pretend is always pushing, and is not the way to achieve the things,
because then the quality
is
will
decrease.
Yes. And actually about this, there is this that we need to be careful. What's mean evolving or what's mean change?
Yes.
You understand? It's like a natural turn is a natural turn.
Yeah, I agree.
If we change that, then we don't see natural turn. So,
manipulate, but within the style. Yes. I think this is important,
So, first point, we said again, the careful about imitation, when I have to, disappear slowly. Mm-hmm. The worry about judgment, very important, I think. And the third one is technique without intention.
Yes.
So here is about, why we write this. We write because is doing steps correct, but empty. Somehow, I think it's connected to the first point, that you do the external part, everything clear, clean, but without somehow personal
essence,
or decision, the decision about timing, the decision about relationship.
Yes.
The
musical aspect,
yes.
The relationship, you say, space awareness as well.
Yes, it's a little bit, be correct.
Yeah, or probably, just be in touch with the design, which is very important, but I think the design without the freedom of movement and without the freedom to express somehow the feelings that you had, the decision that you make.
It's like if you do a natural turn, then that you have this beautiful, shift and swing somehow. But of course, in the end, the beauty is when you close your feet and you change your weight.
Yes.
Now, because I have to close my feet, I don't swing anymore, I don't shift anymore, but I'm just worried to close my feet. Then you lose the essence of the natural turn.
Yes. So understand somehow the why of the movement,
yes.
and your why is very important.
Yes. So this is why we call this a technique without intention, because the technique have a beautiful intention. There is an intention in technique. It depends how we approach with it. Now, fourth point, mancanza, how do you say mancanza in English?
The lose of.
The lose of expressive vocabulary.
It's connected a little bit with what we said before about the why. If you have a vocabulary in your movement, it means that you are aware of the movement that you do, and you are not aware of the steps itself, without the understanding really what you do, are a little bit empty. Step enough, they communicate just the steps, I think, and this is
yes, and actually, if you really look also at all the names of the steps we are dancing, there is a name in that. And if you really, that could be at the beginning to have a meaning in what you do. It's like a natural turn, feather step.
Rumba walk.
Why
rumba?
Yeah, why rumba walk? To search,
Yeah, what's mean to have a rumba walk in relationship to the samba walk? Of course, the dancing is different, but the movement itself is give you, and not just the movement, the technical movement.
The names of the step, you mean? Or
I mean also the characteristic of it, that can make the change of the steps. And of course, the slip pivot, for example. Why slip and why pivot, That why is related to the movement and relate as well to the dance that you do.
Yeah, somehow, if you know more reason why you do what you do, and you think about, you are, enlarge the meaning of the step. And if we just worry about, to create always big shape, then you will see just big shape. It's very simple, really.
Yes.
More tools you have, more knowledge you have inside you, more from outside, people will see different because you know more about it.
Yeah, the intention somehow are the what you have inside is what you will take out. So somehow, if your intention is to do the steps in a good shape, this is what you see.
Yes.
But if your intention, for example, is, as you said, in the natural turn, to show the shift of the weight and really be engaged with that feeling of use your weight in a certain way, then you will take out this feeling.
So we can say that wherever you think, the quality of your thinking and feeling will determine, how you move, really. Because, I can think about, to get just myself in shape, or I can think about, to get myself in shape in relationship to the other person. That will be already,
a different
approach and different look.
Yes, and therefore different feeling too, they're all connected.
And then the last one of today is classifica to decrease we already talked a little bit before, but is decrease the feeling of pleasing people, increase and understand what you want to communicate. So somehow,
to say a yes to yourself, and somehow to be detached from.
And ask is actually first what do I want, and not what they want. Of course, it's important to know what other people want in our dancing world.
Field, yes, of course.
But we need to understand what we want in this field. Then we are talking about find your identity, find your style, find your personality. Otherwise, it's difficult to find it if I'm worried about the external part. Actually, this is it.
This is it,
and is a journey, is a searching
And I think to learn to take out what do you feel and what you believe, in dance. And this is not easy for sure for somebody that start. Is is a journey, as you said, it's a development.
And I think sometimes you do also a lot of mistake. You do wrong decision.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I remember we did, we as a couple was a little bit in a searcher, curious to find new things, new style, new idea. So sometimes you also go over the top, because you are searching.
And then, and somehow I think we enjoy the search, but we enjoy as well to try even things that was not maybe conventional at the beginning. We try that way. Maybe sometimes we're wrong, sometimes we did it right. And you find yourself in this way.
It's like when you find your own personality. I'm not a youth anymore. But I'm still looking for understand more and more.
Why you said you're not a youth? Look at you.
Of course, my body and my essence show that, but unfortunately, I'm not. And I'm still searching for.
Curious to
understand more and more who I am, what I can do.
What we cannot do as well.
Yes, that's true too.
But I think is a journey, as you said, and this is the nice things about that is never stopping.
See,
the growing.
Actually, this is a good point that we didn't wrote, but there is this theory, there is this feeling to don't make mistakes, to don't make mistakes. But if yes. This mistake, this worry, very often is the energy that block people to find really
to develop. Yes.
The worry of upset, the worry of make mistakes. This is, I don't know.
Yes, is limited.
Yes, it's limited.
Yes.
Yes. It's somehow, it's like my son now play football quite soccer, seriously, and it's quite interesting. But somehow, if you are too much educate, and if you are too much worried about what the coach said and what the player around said, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, we find the same situation somehow, and to guide that.
Yes, you don't risk anymore. As soon as you get the ball, you give it away too soon, too early. And somehow then you don't risk. You don't want to go against the opponents, and it's important to face that you can make something wrong. And wrong maybe is a wrong word already.
Exactly.
Or the perception of being wrong. Somehow you need to be wrong in order to find yourself, to develop your your style, your potential.
Essence, your potential, your essence, as a dancer, as a human being.
So I quite often say that if I will go back now, even more,
Don't tell me that you risk more, because, between us, you was totally, that I have to tell you, I had a total admiration for the way you didn't care about anything outside, in that sense, about the not the outside, you didn't care about the judgment of other people somehow,
No, not totally, of course.
And
sometimes, it's not nice to hear what you would like to don't hear, but in a way, I think I had maybe from my mother, I guess so.
For sure.
When I'm thinking about this feeling, actually, when I look at my mother,
actually, your mother was even more than you. I must say that she was very open.
That make me feel embarrassed sometimes. by watching her.
Yeah, because she didn't care about the judgment of other people.
Yes,
It was
that,
amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
So I think I learned that energy from her to don't care, and of course it's not just positive. Sometimes it's negative, but somehow I think in our career about me, that was I think a good essence that I learned.
Yeah.
And I put in.
You put it on the floor, and I must say, as a partner, even if my character and my background was not similar, I was opposite than yours somehow, but I learned that from you, and I go with it somehow, and I think in a positive way, you help me to get this mindset,
Yes.
So thank you, darling.
You are welcome, and for free.
And for free. Wow.
No.
I'm so lucky.
No, and so all this characterization, I think we need to find out. And again, I couldn't. This is about style. Now we're talking about us, not because we want to
share our
because we want to share our story. How maybe will be interesting for you to find your story,
your own story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And somehow in our couple, for me, it was easy to decide and do what I want, because I remember the feeling. Okay, now I'm gonna do this. Now in this moment I'm gonna do that. I was free to do whatever I want to do that come in my mind.
Crazy mind, I will add.
No, crazy. I don't think it was crazy. I think it was just free.
Free, yes.
Free. I want to do this. I do it, and this was possible because of your kind of characteristic.
Yeah, I can see that
I always felt that I could. So I never felt that you go against. So wherever you go. I change this and you come and I always felt that you came with good energy, not with
against
judgment, wrong judgment. It's like, oh, okay. It's more like, oh, let's see.
Yeah.
This is the positive stuff.
Yeah. Then the negative. Next time.
There is a book there. But this was the positive part of it. And I think, the couples need to understand, the dancer need to understand this stuff, Of course, we focus, yes, again, maybe sometimes we focus too much in the negative part of it, of each other or of our partner, that I think is good, somehow. It's good because, if you want to improve, you need to face things that momentarily you don't do right or good. But we also need to face, what we are good on and what to characterize us as a couple. Not just as a persona, as a couple that can match. And I think, what we discussed about now, about one of my essence and one of yours, it characterizes your style.
Yeah, because don't forget that this idea that we gave you today with these 5 points, of course, you need to share with the partner, because don't forget that even in these days, the solo is getting popular. You have a lot of dancers that don't have the situation to share with the partner. But, if we're talking about the couple style, we need to embrace this value this characteristic that we tell you.
But
in two people, and we already have a differentiation in character, in behavior, in movement already here, in two of us.
Yes.
So,
and by understanding and share and develop, then it become really something that never been before.
Yes, yes.
So somehow, you know, as I believe, I think we believe, because we share many stuff, we believe that really we should be unique because we are unique.
Yes, yes.
And by, you know, by understanding all this stuff, you create a different natural term. So somehow the step is the same, but the delivering, it will not be the same. So I think it's time to stop, to shut up,
to say goodbye.
To say goodbye. We will see on the second episode. And thank you.
Thank you for listening to us. But if you have any questions, please, we still have a list from previous time, but if you have some desire or something to ask, please don't hesitate to write us privately, and don't forget to subscribe
and share with all your friends.
Yes.
Okay, ciao.